Hey guys, this is Ghana, but for those of you who do not know who I am, I try coming on YouTube like a million times. I come, I disappear. I make videos, I disappear. I create shows, I disappear. I make dance videos, I disappear. So, one thing that has been consistent with me is inconsistency. So, this time I'm trying to, you know, be inconsistent with inconsistency and actually show up consistently. So now that I'm done doing the crappy jokes, I intend to do a lot more videos. The reason being, I think the last year has been exponential in terms of growth, not way, but then way. And when I say this way, it can be like business, it can be emotions, it can be relationship, it can be self-worth. So I think as a person I have grown quite a lot. And one thing I wish, I am going to be blabbering a lot. There's no sort of syntax I'll be following, so things can be things can be like here and there, so please bear with me. But one thing I have realized is I do have quite a lot of bad days which are like rock bottom, and those are the days that I literally grow as a person. I tend to learn a lot, I tend to introspect a lot, I tend to intellectualize a lot. I tend to learn a lot about psychology and why people behave the way they behave, including myself. What are the patterns? How do they behave prior to that, during that, after that? What can I expect? How does it correlate with astrology? How does it show up at work, business, in your family relationships, with your friends, and work, business, clients, name it, and we have it. So, one thing I have noticed is I tend to forget a lot. So if during my rock bottom, if I've studied something and I've implemented it, I would have gone so deep into it that it becomes second nature to me, and I would have completely forgotten about it. But again, then there would come the days where I am feeling great and I would have completely forgotten about all of this learning curve that I have gone through. So this time I decided, while I go through and I'm like, studying about it, and this could also be the fact that probably sometime down the line, because life is a cycle, and probably I will end up facing the same thing, I can revisit this video myself and take notes, and I don't have to start from the scratch or reinvent the wheel. That's our little Wally, who is not so little. And so this is for both. And if you guys are going through something of this sort and you have no one to talk to, probably I'm hoping this video can help you out in some way. I plan to do I'll try and stick to a schedule and post. If I'm unable to stick to a schedule for a little while, when I'm figuring out what video works for me and for you guys, and what videos I feel excited to talk about, and where you guys will learn a lot as well, and meaning both of us. Like I think knowledge is best when it's shared, right? Even when you start sharing knowledge, when you verbalize it, even you tend to understand that concept way better when you're explaining it, rather than when it's just sitting in your head and when you're implementing it. So I'm hoping the viewers as well as myself, we will both benefit out of this. So for the next few months, please bear with me when the video content is going to be sporadic. I don't come up with a commitment saying that this is the date, this is the content, or this is the niche I'll be posting. I genuinely want to experiment with everything, because I've been learning quite a lot over different verticals, so I don't want to narrow it down just to a particular topic. So plus it's going to be no cut kind of videos, unless I really like mess it up while talking, then those parts might get cut. But I'm trying to keep it as candid as possible, as real as possible, and as much as it's going to be me, because we all have that little filter. The minute a camera comes in front of us, or you're talking to a new person, we have this voice, facial expression, and everything that suddenly changes. while when as compared to when you're talking to your friends and there is nobody watching over you, there's no camera, then there's a completely different personality. So it's going to take some time to break that invisible wall as well. So this is going, and by the way, there's this little sneak peek, not really a sneak peek because I don't have anything to show you guys, but then I plan on bringing my mom and I plan on documenting all of local Mangalorean Shivarli Tulu cuisine for my own reference as well. So anything that I'm posting here, little bit selfishness for me to come and see. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. I plan on bringing my dad too. So I ask is this community be really kind, because that is something I really I think vouch for. I don't support like hateful comments on other profiles. We all can agree to disagree. If you have any point to share, luckily, touch wood, the number of years I've been in front of the in front of the camera, people have been really, really kind. And whenever there have been trolls, I've just been laughing about it. Even when there is negative comments, I usually laugh at it. But generally, people have been extremely kind. So try to be kind to me and others in the chat. So because I will be coming quite a lot, I wanted to create this series. Every time I come up with one tiny idea, I tend to overcomplicate it. Then I try to do logo and a series name, then I try to do like a music video to it, and then I try to get the thumbnail. I waste immense time just in planning. So this time I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to jump right in. So now that you heard me mumbling for about 7 minutes, I think close to 6-7 minutes, I'm going to start. So initially I thought of keeping the name of this so-called, this is by the way supposed to be podcast, low budget. I don't have the stand, I don't have the setup. It's just me in my bedroom and no mic, no nothing. It's just my iPhone recording it with my baby right behind me. And in fact, I tried writing down a little bit of points which I wanted to talk, so I don't even know if I'm going to use it. But I just knew I had to start a solo podcast, and eventually we hope one day we will have the back end set up and we have the mic and all of that stuff. If anyone likes to sponsor, please sponsor, but if not, I'm just kidding. Not really. Just kidding. Okay, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, all I knew was I wanted to start a solo podcast. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, I have so many topics to talk about, and I felt like dumping every damn thing in one video, which is not the right way to go. So I called up my best friend Shona and I was like, hey, listen, I have makeup on, so I plan on doing a podcast. Can you help me with the topic? So that's how well prepared we are. Because I so happened that me and Shona, we had thought of doing a podcast, then we decided not to do it for some reason, which I'll not be talking about over here because it's confidential. But then she's a great friend of mine, and whenever I'm with her, like, we end up chatting non-stop for hours. We are like each other's therapists. We listen to each other, we speak about everything. And so when I called her up, she gave me this topic. She said that I think you have gold mine of knowledge over here, so I think this is exactly where you need to start. So the topic here for today is that when do you know you need to go to therapy? What is mental health? Do you really need it? Are you too cool for therapy? Are you not too cool for therapy? What is therapy? And when do we, you get the drift. So I think I have always been an advocate for mental health for I don't know how long. It could be more than a decade, when this word was not even cool, when Deepika Padukone had not come forward to talk about it. This was a very taboo word early in my 20s itself, because I think there have been too many traumatic events in my life which has shaped me become the kind of person that I am, be it in terms of my strength, be it in terms of my courage, fear, touchwood, but then irrespective, but as much as a person can show up, strong and courageous, and you can deal with any damn thing. Trauma gets stored in your body. Trauma gets stored in the way you respond to situations, you respond to the relationships that come into your life, and the work, the way you look at any problem. You start being hyperactive about it, etc. So we will keep this entire trauma related stuff for an entire different series, because that needs too much of digging, so I'm not going to be doing that for the first one. But what I realized is that I have always been drawn to the topic. Also, you will hear bus noises, etc. Please ignore, this is as real as it can get. But what I'm getting back to the topic is the fact that I think for more than a decade I've always been interested in the way people behave, and previously it was always me, irrespective of whatever used to happen. And to be most of my trauma used to come from the opposite gender. Not, I don't want to get into the details of it or what it was, or any of that, but in general it's started making me look at the opposite gender in a different light. So it could be the way I would talk to somebody, or someone would come and say, you look so unapproachable, we thought you have attitude, you don't reply to us, etc., etc. They all come from the way certain conditions, certain conditioning. But coming back, it can be that, it can be work also, the way the situations at work, and how do you deal with. I initially was working in a very stressful environment, and how the repeated stress can change the way you work and all of that. How does it impact your relationships? Everything goes back to the same thing, right? Because we have to show up as a human being every single day, at work, at home, with friends, because you might have a different personality with your friends, you might have a different personality with your partner, you might have a different personality with your parents, you might have a different personality with the person that you're just entering into a talking stage with, and moving to let's say getting to know flirty bit, and then getting into a relationship, then post breakup. Likewise, even friendship, right? When you're getting to know them initially, then you're like okay-ish friends, and maybe you have hated each other, then you become best friends. Literally, it could be any relationship. It could be your parents, like you might have had great relationship with your parents, but as you grow old, it might start to fail. Then again, you might find like a stable ground, then it can get great, again it can go down. Basically anything with you. So now that I have actually deviated quite a lot, I just want to say, when do you really need to know if you need to go to therapy? So first, I think I want to talk about, like many of us don't even know. I think first stage is the awareness. A lot of us don't like to face reality when life gets tough, when situations in your life get tough, when relationship in your life gets tough. When I talk about relationship, I am just making it as what do you say, a declaration that relationship can be literally any relationship under the sun. It can be including materialistic relationship with your money, career, job, house, EMIs, whatever it is. Relationship meaning every damn relationship, self to others. So when you start seeing the quality of it dip little by little, you're not showing up with happiness, which I don't think so majority of us even know how to do it anymore, which is what I'm trying to get to. Because I thought it was never possible. But, and also, if you notice, you see a lot of people going through the worst of worst phase, and you will hear people, I think recently I saw a video interview of the Tamil actor Pradeep Ranganathan from the movie Dude, Love Again, etc., saying that even he used to go through a lot of tough phases. Then he realized that he has to be happy irrespective of the situation. So while as a listener you hear it, it feels good, you do, most of us know the end result. We all want to be happy. But when that situation is presented to us, do we know how to be happy every single day, irrespective of what goes on in our life? I wasn't in that state for years and years and years. It was always me associating myself with everything that was going wrong in my life, all the bad things that's going in my life. I absolutely am happy, but then is it a consistent state? My consistent state was only pointing about all the difficulties in my life and how I'm overcoming it, but never the consistent state of being happy. That's what happens when life hits you back to back, with enough instances, a situation that pulls you down and gives you very little situations to be happy. So if you're happy, then you start, your brain starts searching for the proof that, wait, I'm happy, so probably more 10 more things that are going to make me sad is going to come about in my life. So I think our brain starts to start searching for proof in another direction. So we all at some point or the other are going to have back-to-back issues in any and every way possible. It is going to bring down our spirits in every way possible. You could be the most motivated go-getter, but there will come a time when there is a slump and you might not even want to get out of your bed. You don't want to talk to people, not your friends. You don't want to be social, or it could be a different way for you. But therapy, I think, is for anybody and everybody. But therapy can also seem different when you will reach a point in time when you have worked enough on yourself. When you go to a therapist, the therapist will themselves say that, hey, you know what, you're good. Unless you feel there is something really going off, you don't need therapy anymore. I have reached that stage, by the way. So that is great. And after that, you can go to the progression of a life coach, a business coach, etc. Why? Because now, irrespective of the outer commotion and situations, I'm not saying you'll not feel sad. I'm not saying you'll not cry. I'm not saying you'll not feel depressed. I'm not saying you'll feel out of impulse. Not saying any of that, but you will have the tools. You will know how to handle things on your own. That's when therapy has worked for you and you're ready for the next stage, because your body is regulated, your nervous system gets regulated. Even if you go down, you're able to pull yourself back up very soon. That's when you're able to you have reached like that linear thing, and now you can go exponential. So that's when you can start working with life coaches, business coaches. That's when things take shape. So this is where our end result is. So who are the people before that? I personally say that anyone and everyone has to go to therapy. First comes the awareness. Anytime you see consistently you're feeling even little off, let's say out of 7 days, 3 or 4 days you're feeling dull, or maybe just put a percentage to it. If 7 days is 100%, just put a threshold for yourself. What you feel is valid according to your persona, your lifestyle, etc. Because this is not one size fit all solution. The main key here is never the outside world. It is always and always you. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand your patterns, it's easier to understand the others around, and you can make your life easier by rearranging your life. Because most of the cases where I have seen is unhealthy way of coping, meaning firstly, there are different types of attachment styles. You have anxious attached, you have avoidant attached, you have secure attached, then you have like sub attachment styles of everything. I'm not a psychology student, so please don't quote me. I'm just saying the most common ones. So this is a little bit that I have read. So anxious attachment, which initially I was, now I have moved to secure. So anytime if I have a conflict, I need to be needed to be resolved then and there. If not, I go into panic. I start to cling. I start to ask for answers. I just need reassurance. I just need to know that we are okay. I just need to have zero conflict. We can fight, but after that, I don't need any bad blood. I would do anything to close out the bad blood so that I can feel the reassurance that I'm safe again, the connection is safe again. So I will cling, I will chase, I will ask for clarity. So this is some signs of, anxiously attached. You want, the anxiousness is in you. Whereas then there comes avoidant attachment style, right? So avoidant attachment, anytime they first of all don't want any sort of conflicts. The minute there is some sort of emotional pain, irrespective, it can be fights or whatnot, immediately they shut down. They go into hermit mode. They do avoid conflicts. They don't want to be talked to. They don't want to be chased. They don't want physical proximity or emotional proximity. they will just cut people out of their life like nobody's business, and they go into freeze state. So this is anxiously attached, avoidant attached. And usually, whether it's friendship, relationship, or whatever, it's usually anxious and avoidant tend to attract each other, because at the end of the day, we're all here to evolve, figure out ourselves, and become better people. So I think it's in a way like opposites attract, these two attract, so that they will trigger each other. We are forced to learn about each other's style and find a middle ground, and we become securely attached. So this is one of the things. The first step is the awareness. When you figure out that, what kind of a person are you, try to figure out all of the styles. Anytime there is a conflict that's showing up, see how do you behave. Do you see a pattern in it? Pattern recognition becomes important. And do you see like all of this? Usually you can ask your therapist too, but if you're not going to a therapist for whatever reasons, you can analyze this yourself. Anytime you feel happy, look at the way you handle yourself, look at the tone that you talk with, look at the kind of actions you take. When you're feeling energized, motivated, do you post more online, do you post more on stories, or do you disconnect? Are you more offline with your friends and family? Start seeing those patterns. And when you are getting angry, look at your body language. Is your breath going shallow? Are you not able to get out of bed? Are you not eating? Is going and meeting friends becoming difficult, etc., etc. So if you are sad, again, can you not get out of bed? Because whatever is a problem area in your life could be actually just 10% in the entire wheel of your life, but at that point in time, when you're in problem, that ends up becoming 100% of your time, attention, energy, etc., and the rest of all quadrants of your life goes out the window. And when it starts taking over, now, just to make life easier, let me talk about relationships, because I think I can give examples better. So now let's say you're going through a breakup. Before breakup, probably you have your life is filled with your work, your family, your friends, etc., etc. But because of this breakup, the 20% of your, or 20 or 25% of your quadrant of your life ends up becoming 100%. And when you're fresh, when there is a fresh breakup, there is a lot of emotional pain, there is closeness with the person, you have envisioned your future with somebody, you have considered someone as your home, you considered someone as your safe space. By the way, this breakup can be a love partner, it can be a family member, it can be a friendship, anybody for that matter. So then that stability goes away, your anchor goes away, what you felt safe, because at the end of it, everything comes to your inner child. Everything comes to the basic survival instinct of a human being, which is nothing but safety. Our life revolves around safety, which none of us really pay attention to. All of us just need to feel safe, irrespective of your attachment style. What happens is, when your safety is questioned, is when everything goes haywire. It can be in career, money. Look at it, just analyze, audit your own life. The minute the safety net is gone, we don't act the way we actually do. We are, we tend to act out of character. Why? That's because our safety gets threatened. So anytime your safety is threatened, you tend to go down a rabbit hole. And so as you come back to this, any sort of breakup that you have, so this 25% slowly becomes 30, 50, and sometimes 100, and that can be in that state for a long period of time. So that is when most of us now, with the information era, most of us do know the basics. But if you do not know the basics, these are not cliche, these are scientifically proven. So it's not like woo-woo thing, it's not silly, it's not stupid, it's not like internet rules, none of that. These scientifically work for reasons that your body understands, your mind understands, your nervous system understands. So anytime you have discomfort, and for whatever reasons, when we say you should go to therapy, and you don't have access to therapy right away, try these. But I would genuinely, if you're going through a divorce, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a job loss, even if you're going through a financial stress that is causing a lot of stress in your life, or health issues, whatever it is, There is going to come a point in life when you can reach out to your friends and family and partner about what you're feeling, but they are another person dealing with their own demons and they are not equipped with the tools. They don't know the hacks. What we need whenever we are in danger is hacks, and those hacks are available only with a therapist. By the way, this is not a sponsored video or anything. I don't get paid for anything. I will give a couple of links, but I'm not associated, I'm not affiliated, none of this is purely from my own experience. So I have personally felt online therapy way better. I don't like personally going to a therapist in my own city for my own reasons, but if you feel comfortable, please feel free to. I prefer the comfort of my own home, comfort of my own room, and talking to somebody on a schedule. I like that, whatever floats your boat. So and plus they're very cheap, around 8.99, 9.99 something per session. You can change the counselors as and how you feel like it, because at the end of the day, remember, you should feel a therapist is nothing but a doctor. So consider the same thing. I will come more to it, but then the whole I'm going here and there in such an important topic. But what I was, let me go back to telling you guys, for whatever reasons, maybe you don't have the time, maybe you don't have the financial means, maybe your schedule is conflicted and you need something right away. This is something that I would follow. And after that, I would still recommend fixing some therapist appointment, because, and let me tell you, you might have to change your therapist multiple times until you figure out who's giving you the best hack and who's understanding you well and who is helping you out. But consistency is the key. Do not expect miracles in first session. And this is for people who cannot commit. They don't know why they don't want marriage. They don't know why they are so possessive. They don't know why they are so jealous. They don't know why they're always angry. They don't know why they're always so sad. They don't know why they're always blaming others, or they don't know why they're always blaming themselves, or they don't know what is self-love, or they're too selfish, too narcissistic, basically anything. So you need to figure out what your issue is. If not a problem. They will help you guide, just that the sessions will be a little longer. But if you have done enough self-discovery on your own, when you show up at these not a mandate, but I'm just saying it's a bonus. When you do self work on your own, your patterns, all of it, therapy becomes shorter. You get to your end goal faster. If not a problem. Even if it's your first time even figuring things out, if you need therapy or not, what kind of a person you are, it's totally cool. Go talk to that person, not as a friend, not as a stranger. Strictly consider it as a doctor patient relationship. So before we go to therapy, I'm coming back to saying, what can you do if you don't have access to therapy and you are down in the dump and you just don't know what to do? Anytime, these are the things that have helped me, and so I'm going to help you guys. If it helps you, please let me know, so I'll be really happy. First things first, anytime your safety is compromised in any way, again, relationships, money, career, whatever, stress from work, whatever it is, the first thing, when you feel you're emotional, you're triggered, you're vulnerable, you're not safe, first thing you need to do, irrespective where you are, notice your breathing pattern. I tend to have like a shaky hand, my voice trembles. That's when I know I am extremely triggered. What helps me during that time is exhaling longer than inhaling, because it signals my brain I'm safe. So even if you're not verbally saying, I would do wherever I am, just try to sit down somewhere, or wherever you are, irrespective of, do not give the circumstance and situation any power. Give yourself the power. Find the courage to take, let's say, 4 inhale and hold it for 2 seconds and exhale it for 8 counts. When I say inhale, it's hold it for 2 and exhale so when you do this at least 5 to 10 times, again, I'm not a licensed therapist, I'm not telling this as someone who knows, this has helped me. So try doing this at least 5 to 10 times, 4 counts of inhale, 2 counts of hold, and 8 counts of exhale. The key here is exhale should be longer than inhale and hold, which triggers, which tells your brain that you're safe. And after 5 to 7 counts, probably, like, when you're exhaling, you can tell internally to yourself, I'm safe, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, it's passing, it's just a situation, it's passing. By 10 counts, trust me, you will feel way better. If you're sitting and doing, it's amazing, but if not, just try this. And the next one is naming the feeling, so that you are giving not the confusion in your mind the power, but you're actually naming the behavior. You can say, like, I'm feeling flustered, or I'm feeling flustered because the deadline is approaching and my work is not done, and I'm feeling pressured. So the minute you're naming the behavior, why that is causing you that, what might be the reason, you're kind of taking away the power from the pain. And the next thing that actually helps me is, like, saying it out loud, more like telling my own subconscious, conscious body, whatever it is, saying, I'm safe, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good, we have this under control, this is just a temporary passing phase. So this actually helps. And apart from that, what helps is, like, I take a book, and there is a book where I just write down without any judgment, without any structure, without any grammar, punctuation, none of it. Like, whatever comes in my mind, just like a gibberish, I just write it down. And 1 or 2 pages, when you write it down, goes away. If you don't have a book or a pen, use your notes app. Even if you feel it's too much to type, just take out voice memo, just record yourself talking. The whole point is you're talking to somebody else. It could be a voice memo too. All this really helps. And what else actually helps? This is something, these 3 things. Oh, I forgot. After you exhale, one more thing that can really help is, people keep saying, name 5 things. I had tried it for years together, saying naming 5 things, but that never really helped. I'd be like, candle, car, board, nothing really helped. The key to it is, I would say, I see a mini pink car toy. It has 4 wheels, and below that I see my stack of journals and notebooks. So basically elaborating the entire thing. The whole idea is for you to snap out of that fight and flight response. That is what happens when you're in a conflict, when you're emotionally overwhelmed, you're sad, triggered. You go into this flight and fight mode. So you want to come back to your rest mode, and you can do that by snapping. These are the hacks. One is breathing, 4 inhale, 2 hold, 8 exhale, 5 to 7 counts. After that, internally say, it's all good, it's safe, I'm here, I'm present. And after that, you can name things out around you, like say 5 things, in a long sentence. If that doesn't work, you're in a conversation with somebody, you feel you're losing it, mentally just randomly count some number, 25, 75, 85, whatever, it doesn't matter. That is to break the pattern. And then if you're alone and you're just feeling, you need to come back to yourself, voice memo, notes, journal, just write down gibberish, whatever comes your way. This should bring you back at that moment. And now I'll tell you, I know a lot of people who are going through a very tough time financially, or divorce, or a breakup, or anything, right, which is affecting every aspect of their life. Those are the kind of people that really, really require therapy, because I have personally known a lot of people who have been in a certain messy situation because of their kids or in-laws, you can literally name, or their own parents, whatever it is, right? So they are not in a position to leave a relationship, or let's say they are in the process of divorce, or they have left, and they carry certain level of shame within themselves for being in a relationship for a long period of time, thinking that they should have known better, or they have known and they could not come out of it, or they got to know about it very late. Or it could be for the fact that you should know one thing: everyone, whoever is strong, they usually say snap out of it, or say that you should be strong. That's like the worst thing to tell. You wouldn't tell someone who has just got into a car accident, who has had multiple fractures, saying that snap out of it. So likewise, whatever you don't see, just because you don't see, you can't tell someone else that snap out of it. If someone is going through financial stress, health stress, relationship stress, money stress, whatever stress, don't ask people to snap out of it. Don't ask them to be strong. One, you can just be a good listener. Even if you don't know how to respond to it, just listen. Most of them, the minute they start speaking things out, Human brain does an amazing job of soothing itself. Sometimes it gives you solutions on its own, but at least you will not feel abandoned, you will not feel alone. So you feel like someone is there, you're not alone in this. So if you, the most kind thing you can say is, don't ask people to snap out of it, don't ask them, just don't say you're being a victim, don't say anything unkind. If you don't have anything great to say, just listen to it, and probably see what is it that they're going through. For most of them, when something bad is happening in their life, they might have to repeat it over and over again for a long period of time. It can be months and years, because everyone's grieving process, coping process, trauma response, everything is going to be different. So if you're able to provide lending shoulder just to listen, you can do that. And if not, say things just for them to make them feel safe. Just hold their hand. Physical touch does a great job, especially when someone is overwhelmed. It does a great job. If you're alone, just touch yourself, probably your arms or something. But you have to redirect them to therapy, because the same example of a road accident, if someone has met with a road accident and they have fracture, you're not going to say sit at home, go to work. You're not going to say that. You're going to send them to an emergency room, to a doctor. You're going to get them checked, you'll get all the tests done, you're going to wrap them with bandage, etc. And you won't expect within the next second for that fracture to heal and for them to start working. It is going to take the time, right? Like, the healing is going to take some time. Likewise, the same thing with therapy, it is going to take a long time. If your trauma response is going to be different, or if you have another let's say symptoms, or the way you react, everyone's timeline is going to be different. You have to look at them just as another doctor. And just like how when you go to a hospital, you're not going to hide any of your symptoms, because each symptom might actually reveal something you don't even know about it, about the final analysis that they're going to come up with. Likewise, when you go to a therapist, you have to stop looking at them as some stranger that you're telling their life story. No, you put up a very professional doctor patient relationship, and whatever you're talking right from your childhood, whatever is your recent event that is causing you the stress, every tiny detail needs to be spoken. Anytime you go to a great therapist, all of your information is extremely confidential. It'll never be leaked. So you should feel never ashamed, no matter how dark the secrets are. Even if you have the deepest, darkest secret that nobody knows, you can tell your therapist. Again, figure out if the therapist works for you. So maybe if you feel comfortable, if you're not feeling comfortable, start it slightly slow. Just give them the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed and what led you there. See if you're able to find that frequency with your therapist. If yes, great. Then as the session progresses, you can go all the way. You need to go all the way back to your childhood. That's when your healing is much better, because no matter how, one thing I have noticed is, no matter how old we get, we start acting out of a character as we grow old, because of the wounds that have happened and the way our brain has formed certain situations in our brain, the way we were treated in the childhood. Not necessarily by your parents, it can be any damn thing in your childhood. So your childhood is your literal blueprint of what happens in your adulthood. We tend to think that when we grow up, we are more mature, we know how to handle things, but it's actually the ulta. The more we grow old, you start seeing the kind of tantrums, sometimes our boundaries are too tight. Good to have boundaries, that's not what I'm saying. But then, the way you react, it all goes back to how your childhood is. So it's very important for therapy. So you have to layer every damn thing out. And again, now after you go to therapy, the main thing is not just to talk out everything that you have never told out loud, but it is for you to understand yourself, why you're behaving the way you're behaving, what kind of pattern do you have, what is your end goal, what is your current state. Measure it, because measuring becomes one of the most important thing. When I say measuring, now let's say previously if I'm sad about losing something and I take about 8 months to get out of it, now that I'm constantly working on it, if I get out of it in 3 days, that is still a progress. So that needs to be measured. Next one is, let's say that the more you analyze and get to know yourself in therapy, uh, and another reason is, once you the awareness is done, the best part is the therapist will give you tools. So in the next time you're encountering something, you already come into the awareness phase. But even better, the tools will help you snap out of issues very quickly. So that is one of the biggest advantage. So once you start doing a lot of these sessions, you will know the tools that you need to handle, and you will start picking up on the energies around you very fast. You will know how to react on the situation. So these are few of the benefits. So at least go for like 3-4 months, see how you're able to see where you were as a person when you initially started. So measure yourself and ask your therapist also. You can ask them to rate, ask them to tell you the proof, and then the next, after 3-4 months, you decide if you want therapy or not. Your therapist will be better informed to tell you that. But in this day and age, with emotional overload, information overload, with the pressure, the finances, and the amount of competition, therapy is a mandate for everyone, because this is one of the first generations taking mental health seriously. And not just that, we are also healing. We are speaking about trauma, we are speaking about patterns. This is the best way. Right now there is a generation which is overly sensitive, but we will find the middle ground sooner or later, when everyone is taking right step towards it, to find the middle ground for everyone. But I think as it's like always the same thing, right? What grandparents didn't have, they will give the parents, meaning maybe they would cross the river and go to school. So when the parents would go, they would at least send them by a bus. And then came our parents, who would be like, oh, I don't want to ask you to go by bus, we will give you a car. And so the next generation, I don't know what will be given. These are just some random examples. So you're just, for the next generation, you're making it easier. So this is a great time for us to all go to therapy. I also want to give you guys a lot of snippets what my therapists have told, which have worked amazingly well for every aspect of my life: business, relationships, parents, anything. I love those, and I have implemented. I've told a lot of my friends about it, so I can't wait to share those. I thought I will create just a 20-minute video, but I ended up speaking quite a lot. We have about 41 minutes video. This is going to be uncut, raw video. I'm gonna upload it, and I hope you guys found a little bit value, and I'm able to impact at least one life. Keep an eye on this channel. If you can, just subscribe, because for the next few months I will be posting sporadically on different topics. And do comment and let me know here or on Instagram, so that because Instagram, I think I'll be posting something completely different. But the more feedback you give, what you liked, what you don't like, what you would like me to talk about, or what can we cover, I think we will all grow together. So I cannot wait for that, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.